Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Midnight Therapy. This is, I believe, episode 17, which is crazy. Episode 17 already. This is going to be a quick recap episode, as I always say. We're going to do a little bit of current events, and I'm going to fill you in on where I've been. If you've been missing me, I haven't uploaded in a little over a week. Things are getting very busy in my life, so I apologize to you loyal fans out there. We will be keeping this going. Don't worry. I always find time. I am finding time today before I have to go to work. Tonight, I'm going to be bartending at Historical Jack's Pub and Eatery in downtown Jessup. Historical downtown Jessup, let me add. If you ever want to visit me, sometimes I work there. You will have to figure out when. It's not always, but when I do, I work really well. You know, bartender. We're going to get into all the things I do. Bartending is one of them. We're going to talk about that later after our little recap. Why I haven't put an episode out in a while? It was my birthday week. I did turn 26 since our last episode. It felt pretty good. 26 is a rather useless birthday, I feel. After 21, it's kind of all downhill until you're increments of 10, the 30, and the 40, and the 50, and the 60, and all that. You know, maybe 55 might be nice. But 26 was not, the 2 years I had the SpongeBob cakes, 24, and then the 25. You know, what's funnier than 24, 25? I did that. So that felt bigger than it was, but this one was not that big. We didn't do anything too crazy. I went to a restaurant called Harbor Crabs or Harbor Crab or whatever. It was nice. It's like a seafood shack. They give you bibs. They have paper on the table. It was fun. I got crab cakes. I thought you'd all like to know. I did enjoy a crab cake on my birthday. That's the advice I preach a lot, and just enjoy the crab cake. I did. There's 2 of them. They were great. 10 out of 10. I went to a fair. I went to the Wayne County Fair, which is interesting to say the least. I watched a demolition derby or a demo derby, which is where people crash their full-size vehicles into each other in a mud area. Really fun, destructive, good old-fashioned small-town fun. The people were very interesting at the Wayne County Fair. A lot of sights, a lot of pregnant people walking around with pickles on a stick, overalls and all that. It was fun. A lot of sights at the fair. I enjoyed it. I like that. I like small town America stuff like that. It's a dying age. We got to keep it going. Like the truck pulls and all that. That's fun stuff. If you haven't done it, please check it out. Maybe you don't have that where you're from, but we have some fun stuff. Like we have the cow flop around here. And I don't know if I explained the cow flop before, but I'll do it again. You pick a square that is divided, all over the ground on this field. So like A, B, C, D, and then numbers. So like you could pick A5 or B12, and you pick it, you bet on it, and then they release a cow, and wherever he shits, if he shits on your square, you win. I one time called it battle shit because it's like Battleship, but with cow poop. You don't get that everywhere. It's kind of a Northeast PA thing, I feel. Comment if you've ever been to a cow flop, please. So I did that. I had Harbor Crabs, went to cow flop. I turned 26, so I got kicked off of my parents' insurance, which sucks if any of you are in the same boat. So I had to get in all my doctor's appointments one last time before I lost insurance forever in a first world country. Maybe one day I'll get it. I don't know. I tried to apply to the thing to get the free stuff. They didn't really get back to me yet. So let's hope nothing happens. At a dentist cleaning the other day. I was living it up. Like last day on the cruise. Raiding the buffet, as they would say, of stuff I could do with insurance before it runs out in a couple days. So that sucks. But that was pretty much it for me. In politics, we got Kamala Harris still doing her thing. She picked her VP, Tim Walz. Is that his name? Walz? Another odd choice, I will say. Very weird to me. Never heard of this guy. Say lots of great things about him. That's fine and good. The media is very kind to the Harris campaign. Let's say that, to say things lightly. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about all this. Like I said, I talked about it before. Um, the media really is making her seem unstoppable. They were. I think that was their thing. That it was already like she's in the White House. She already won. But I don't know if that's true. I was a little, taken back. I was like, wow, it looks like she's going to win. This is new momentum because I had that anyone else argument, like I said 800 times already. Anybody but Trump would beat Biden. Anybody but Biden would beat Trump. This is anybody but Biden. It is Kamala. She's young. She meets all the, cookie cutter perfect idea of a candidate on the left. But I feel like it's dying out now. I feel like you got to do a little bit more. I think she's really good on the prompter, better than Biden on the prompter because she could read it, you know, and articulate it in a good way, I guess. Good enough. But I think off prompter in a debate, she's going to self destruct a little. I don't know if she could handle Trump. Trump's going to pull something out of left field and trip her up and get her off. It's like a comedian that loses the flow. He forgets where he is. She might self destruct and start laughing. Who knows? So I think it's too early to tell. I don't think Walls or whatever helped her in any way. I mean, that's kind of like Trump picking JD Vance. It was very weird out of nowhere. That was kind of out of nowhere. She could have picked anyone. Things are ramping up, though. I will say that stock market crashed. Some are calling it the Kamala crash. I think Trump is calling it that. Doesn't look good. A lot of world markets are crashing too. I don't really care all too much because everyone's like, "Oh my god, the stock market's crashing." I'm like, "Hey, I live like paycheck to paycheck and eat ramen. I don't have any stocks, so I'm not all too worried. It doesn't really directly affect me. Some of you, though, it might. So I'm sorry about that. Might be a recession. Who knows? Might be a repeat of 2008. Who knows? A lot of things are looking reminiscent of a time gone by. I will say we got Israel and Iran, that conflict ramping up, not looking good at all. These are age old conflicts going on, and doesn't seem to be a solution, only more violence, which is not good. And I don't think anybody wants that. But I think some people want that. You know what I mean? I think you and me and all the viewers out there and the American citizens don't want that. But I think maybe the military industrial complex wants that. And I think they want a candidate that's going to be a figurehead and just go with what they say and be a good puppet and a good mouthpiece so that they can keep doing that for whatever reason, whether it be profit or power or both. But anyways, you didn't hear it from me. My political opinion on this is the more I think about this election, smoke and mirrors as it is, and it's all, not what it seems. I still think we probably should have just let it have been Biden and Trump. I feel like this dropout by Biden is really messing things up, and I think it's not good for the attention of the country. I think Trump should have just probably beaten Biden, and you would have had 4 years to suffer through Trump if you were a Democrat, and then it would be a clean slate next time. But to sneak in Kamala and to set the fix that she is like this messiah figure that's going to fix everything and that she's perfect and forget all about Biden and all he did or didn't do. I think that's not healthy, I don't think that's good for the people that support Trump that are now feeling a little wronged or like cheated. Like I said, like it's like a tag team wrestler stepping in the last round, after the other two fought the whole time. I don't know. Doesn't seem right. I feel like we should have not forced that. And this Kamala thing seems very forced and it seems very pandering. And I think some people are seeing through it. I think some people aren't seeing through it. I think they like it. They're the whole Yas Queen stuff with Kamala. Like they had Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage in like a stripper version of a pantsuit. And like all the people in the audience were just watching confused. Some of them liked it, but the other people didn't. Like the older white male Democrats were like, what? What about Israel? As she was just twerking for Kamala Harris. You're laying it on a little too thick there. You're insulting your voting population by saying this is all we have to do to impress you to vote for us. And we don't have to talk about policy. We don't have to bring up the past. I don't have to be held accountable for anything. But look, a celebrity dancing. It's almost like a SpongeBob quote. Remember that? The singing dog or whatever. Remember that? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. If you know that reference. But it seems like they think the American people are easily amused and impressed. Kind of like give them bread and circuses, the Roman quote. It seems like they are upping the ante on that. Don't even give them bread and circuses. Give them Megan Thee Stallion twerking in a pantsuit, and they'll forget all about the wars and the border and everything else. And it seems like that might be true. Seems like that might be true. She's trying out different accents, which I think are a little offensive. She's trying to sound a different way. We do this a lot. You do it in comedy. You do it in I do it in country music. You lay a little accent on, like for a little twang, but you don't really see it in politics all that much. It's a little weird, just because there's so many hours of speeches out there of where you sound a certain way, and then when you randomly start sounding different, it is noticeable. Just a little. That's just my opinion. I would just hold back on that a little and just maybe talk more about policy. I do. It does appear that Kamala Harris, maybe not her directly, but the media on behalf of her seems to be gaslighting the American people a bit, pretending certain things didn't happen, like pretending that she did not run against Joe Biden and have some very harsh things to say about him, during the primaries of 2020. We're pretending that she didn't poll horribly. She did. I think it was 3% or under in that election. I think she was the least liked person on the stage, which is odd because all those people would have been good VPs, right? Would have been good VP picks, you would think. I don't know. What do I know? They want you to forget about the border czar stuff, that she was in charge of the border. They want you to forget about her and Tulsi Gabbard going at it. They want you to forget about a lot of that stuff. They just want you to think she was always perfect, that she wasn't a tough prosecutor. California. Want you to forget about all of that. I don't know. Seems weird to me. Makes me wonder if the media has so much control that it appears they do, that they could completely change your perception of somebody overnight and completely abandon and throw somebody else under the bus, Joe Biden, just like that. What else could they do? It makes me think, do you think Trump really even won in 2016, or did they let him win just so it could divide the nation and that they could have more power? When people are divided, when they feel there is a common enemy, they group to like-minded people. They create their own little, group, or whatever you want to call it, or ideology that they can echo chamber that they feel comfortable in. You create the idea of the other, and then you find solace in people that agree with you, which if the media does, you'll watch it, and that's good for ratings. I don't know. Makes me wonder, I will say. Current events. We got everything I just mentioned. Like I said, the stock market is crashing. There was a pandemic a few years ago, and it looks like we're heading to World War III. This seems like a complete repeat of last century. Let me know if you think you are seeing those similarities as well, which is quite odd. Maybe a recession too. Who knows? I have no idea what to think. I want to remain hopeful, but it does not look good. And I think it's all going to depend on who we elect president and what happens with Israel and Iran at the current moment. Those are the two big ones. The world is watching, and we are watching, and a lot of people aren't watching. But if you're watching this show, you are getting it straight from the horse's mouth. I have no affiliation, and I am not a licensed therapist. Again, I'm a comedian, though. That's what this is, comedy podcast. Speaking of comedians, Joe Rogan, we're just going to touch on this briefly. He had his live Netflix special. I was able to catch it coincidentally. We just turned it on, saw it. I watched it. I love Joe Rogan. I think he's great. I've been a fan of his podcast for years. He is the podfather, the father of us all. He really started this and took this to a whole new level. But I did think that comedy special was a little rough, not going to lie. It's not his best work. I really didn't laugh all that much. I think when you have so many hours of a podcast on the internet, you repeat a lot of things. And I kind of heard all that before, and the delivery wasn't all that great. I don't know. It was a beautiful venue he was in. He wore like this pumpkin shirt. I don't know. I would have did it better. The jokes weren't that funny. I mean, I've done stand up quite a bit. If I told those jokes with the same delivery in Carbondale, I wouldn't get any laughs. I mean that. I think because he's famous, people want to laugh. I think when you're a famous comedian or famous anything, people just want to love you, even if you like stink. Like if you're a great musician and you put out an album, they're gonna listen to it anyways, even though it sucks, just because you're already famous. That's what fame does to you, and what makes you famous. Like could be followers you have, or a record deal you have, or a recognizable streaming platform that puts your show on, like Netflix. That could mean a lot, and you really maybe aren't listening to the jokes or going into it unbiased. You might just be laughing because it's your favorite podcaster. But me, I tried to go in open. I really didn't find it funny. Not too funny. Not the best. Still love you, Joe Rogan, though. I'd love to be on one day. Please let me know. Me, for example, this is like I said, very hard time for me. A big transitional period for me. I'm going back to college online. Just turned 26. Got kicked off of the insurance. It's hard for me because I said it before. I'm like a Renaissance man. If you remember one of those early episodes, I talked about all the things I do. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this before we wrap up here. I do a lot of things, you know. Um, I'm a musician, a country musician. Got some. I'm in the studio. I've been in the studio for the past month, maybe month and a half, working on two new ones for you. I'm an artist, a painter, as you can see. Do stand up comedy. I'm a podcaster. I'm also a teacher and a songwriter. I do all these things. Um, I recently tried a new profession. I tried to be a barber. The barber I go to, shout out to Mike at Three Saints Barbershop. He was mentioned on the Ubaldo episode a while back. Great guy, great friend. He wanted to help me out. I needed a job for the summer, maybe then on after, maybe just a whole new job altogether. And he thought that I'd be a good barber because I was sociable and funny and I could strike up a good conversation, get clients in. And he was right about all that. But a big part of barbering, besides all that, is being a barber. And I did not know how to do that. He thought I could learn. He thought I'd be able to learn quick. And I guess I was pretty good at it, but it just didn't work out. It lasted about 2 weeks. That was fun. You know, I kind of was thrown to the wolves there. Tried to be an apprentice, tried my best. He was great. He's an awesome teacher. Just I am a very odd bird with things I do. If I'm not fully in it, if I don't fully believe in myself, I really can't do it. And putting heavy duty industrial shears to people's heads was not one of those things. I have enough hobbies. I don't think that one needed to be added to the list, the resume. And that's just me. Other people are great at it. I'm just not. Gave it a shot though. Another thing I do, I might have mentioned before, is I'm an inventor. I'm a good idea generator, and this was a huge part of my life for a while. It still is, but at one point, me and my uncle Dave, shout out Uncle Dave, worked on many inventions, and my father as well. Uncle Dave is an inventor and had a lot of success with his inventions, and hopefully, we're going to get him on this show to talk about that very soon. He's going to be a guest in the very near future. Hence why his character in the show has a super soda dispenser on his belt, you know, like a coin dispenser that a bus driver would have. We talked about that in the Barry Barely episode, um, to show that he's an inventor and that he likes Italian cured meats. But don't we all? But yeah, Dave is going to be on. Hopefully, we can talk about more ideas that may be classified at the moment. I'm just going to bring up a couple of ideas I came up with in the past. So when I was young, believe it or not, I have witnesses. I invented DoorDash way before anyone else. I proposed an idea to deliver coffees from Dunkin' and to deliver McDonald's, and the people I talked to about it, the serious conversations we had about funding, they said the same thing. They're like, coffee and McDonald's is so cheap already. Why would people pay to bring it to their house? It's going to cost more to deliver it than the food actually costs. And they told me it was a stupid idea. But look at it now. You're all paying $48.95 for a McDouble and a fry because it's convenient. But I thought of that first. That had to be 10 plus years ago. I thought of that. Um, Back when there was cable, I thought of this awesome TV last recall button where if you're flipping through channels on commercials, when that was a thing before streaming, that when your other show was back on, it would tell you or automatically recall. The automatic recall, I think I called it. It was a great feature. We tried to pitch that. People didn't like that one either. We had a lot of good ones. I can go on for hours. We had so many. A couple of them that might not be out yet, but I don't have the money to pursue a patent. I heard a crazy noise. I don't know what it was. So if you see a ghost or something on this video, let me know. But where was I? Yeah. These inventions. The one that it might be out, it might not be out. I don't have enough money to pursue these ideas. It costs a lot of money to get a patent, a design, or a utility patent. They all cost a ton of money. So this is kind of like a poor man's patent. When you put it out to the world or you write yourself a letter, it doesn't always hold up in court. Actually, rarely would it hold up. But at least there's proof that you invented it and maybe someone stole it from you. So if you steal from me, all I'm asking for is a little bit of little money from it if you have success. But here's one that might be out, might not be out. The other two I mentioned are irrelevant or they're out already. But I came up with this idea. My girlfriend loves this one, corn bomb, like lip balm or lipstick, but it's just butter, refrigerated butter you keep in the fridge, and you just apply it to your corn like lipstick. Would that not be nice? Corn bomb. How cool is corn bomb? A little butter, twist it up like a glue stick or whatever, and just rub it onto your corn. Perfectly applied. No butter knife needed. Think about it. Have the jumbo size and the mini one. You can also do it on toast. That's a good one. Also, the split soda. I had this great idea for a split soda where it's like a 2 liter bottle of soda, but it's split down the middle and it's two flavors. And I designed the cap and everything. I had an invention for the cap where it would open on both sides and another cap would go over to keep it fresh. You could open one side, pour it. So I got Mountain Dew on this side and I got, I don't know, Dr. Pepper on the other, you know, keep it fresh. And then if you want, you could open both and mix them together. How cool would that be? Mix up, mash up sodas, you know? Well, my dad likes Diet Coke, but I like regular Coke. It's like, not a problem. There's a mashup for that. That'd be awesome. I go on forever about these. I thought of mashed up fast foods too. We have like four of them collab, and you can like mix and match the sides. You can get like a Big Mac, but then you get onion rings from Burger King, and then you get a Baja Blast from Taco Bell. Like you combine the meals, like mash up the meals. That would be awesome. So like ideas slash inventions, we have tons of them, and hopefully we get Uncle Dave on here and we talk about a bunch more. But the reason I bring it up is I recently had one of my dreams shattered for an invention. You always hold out. You're like, oh, well, maybe one day if I have money, I'll pursue that invention. But here's the curse about people who invent stuff. Um, there's 100 now. There's so many people out there. There's probably about 100 people out there thinking of the idea you just thought of at the same time right now. And it's just who runs to the patent office first, or who pursues it first, or who doesn't have problems in their life so significant that they have time to sit down and actually make this an idea and write up a business plan. And that's hard. It takes a lot of motivation. And I know that all too well. I work for no money all the time. And that's just self-driven motivation. That's hard. So I get it, but that's who wins in life. And usually when you search it, if you get to that point, you come up with it, then you search it online, you realize it's been out. And it's been out for years, and you just never saw it. And then that crushes your dream too. But once in a while, you come up with something so unique in such a niche, like very specified group of people that would think of this, maybe borderline insane. Maybe they're mad to think of this, like me. And you think of something like that you know isn't out, and you look it up and it's not out, and you feel so great about it because who else would think of that? And that happens once in a while. And that was an invention that I came up with, and me and my Uncle Dave almost pursued. We were calling China for manufacturing. I even went so far to build a working prototype of the mechanism in this invention. It all checked out and it was all doable. And then we let it go like fools. We let it go like fools. This would have been $1 billion idea. I'm going to tell you what it was. And this is not political, by the way. But it may seem political, but it's not. You may have seen Donald Trump give speeches before, and you may have noticed he does a little dance like this. And sometimes the YMCA music will play. I wanted to invent a dancing Trump toy, like the Santa Clauses, like Santa Claus with the saxophone and the Halloween things that dance. I wanted the Trump to do this, to YMCA. You'd hit a button and it would be the YMCA dancing Trump. And I think it would sell like crazy. I feel like a lot of you right now want one, whether you like them or you don't like them. I feel like it's a very neutral, funny thing as a gift, as a wedding present. I mean, I'd be thrilled. A gag, whatever, a desk piece to put on your desk might cheer you up. I don't know. I could see Trump holding one up himself and loving it. It would have been a shoe in, guaranteed. And see how that's not really like you're not reinventing the wheel there. It's like a novelty. Not many people are thinking that way. You might get away with it. You might get like a patent on that, or not even need a patent. You might be able to get it made in China really cheap, sent over here by the thousands, 1,000 units, 10,000 units on a shipping container, and then sell them for 20, $30 pop. Who knows? We were gonna do it, and then like all the ideas, like songs we've written, ideas we thought of, and inventions we mocked up, they all die in a drawer. That's a quote we have. We they all just die in a drawer, like a little the model and the little piece of paper and the pictures. They all just die in a drawer, and that's the sad truth. We have a big, quick spark, and it's a quick burnout, and then we forget about it. And that's what we did with 1,000 other inventions that hopefully we'll talk about. But we definitely did it with Dancing Trump. But then this happens. I'm up the flea market, which I love doing, the Circle Drive-In Flea Market. Shout out. Walking around, and what do I see? In the box, I have the box as well. Maybe I'll show you next time. But I see something that I can't believe. It almost took me to the ground. I felt the deep pain in my chest. I was saddened terribly. But also happy for whoever did it, because that guy actually pursued our dream, because we didn't, because we don't have any money, or we don't follow through with anything, and we have ADHD and we might be crazy. But still, that guy's living our dream. I walked by and I saw almost the exact thing as Dancing Trump. It's a little different, but it might be also better. And I'm going to show it to you right now. Please get ready. You see this? Please look. This is the symbol monkey as Trump. And he works. But also, did you hear that? I didn't even know I was going to say that one, but wow, what a timing. It talks, and it said a very inappropriate thing, he said. And it's also a symbol monkey. And the eyes pop out, and it has real hair. See this? This is someone that pursued a crazy idea and actually took it to the point of beyond crazy that I'd never even thought of. I thought it'd be crazy to have it dance to the YMCA. This is a symbol monkey, Trump, fully clothed with tie and hair, and it just said a vulgar slur, just said something terrible. I didn't even know I was going to say it. Yeah, this is to be studied in the future. The end of the American Empire. What was going on? This was also going on. Keep that in mind. When they study this all one day, the World War III, the pandemic, the recession, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Hawk Tua, Megan Thee Stallion, when they study it all, when they study Cat Matthews, if they study Cat Matthews, this will be brought up. They'll say, what a weird time. What a weird time that was. And the stakes were never high, but they were just going out with a bang. Everybody was going out with a bang. Everybody was going out with running for that money. Sure, the country's screwed, but if we could make a little bit of money, let's do it. A job is a job. So with that being said, I'm going to end it. We also had this idea for the Trump cowboy hat. I just want to mention before I wrap this episode up. A red cowboy hat that says "Make America Great Again." That hasn't been done. They have the MAGA hats, but they don't have cowboy hats. If you're gonna steal that one, do it and just shoot me some money, I guess, or just give me a shout out. But that's a good one. The red MAGA cowboy hat. That was another one we had. We are going to sell that with that one. But it never happened. Never happened. But that guy did it. We did not do it. So with that being said, I want you all to realize that if you think an idea is crazy, somebody else thinks an idea is crazy but doesn't care. And they're going to do it anyways. So you only get one chance here in this life. Live it interesting, be interesting and take some risks, I guess. That's my advice. That's what that symbol monkey Trump should teach you all. That if you don't do it, someone else is gonna. Don't have to learn the hard way like I did. In a book I was writing, which I'm still writing, and I'm going to finish, I have this idea, this concept I bring up about touching stoves, where if somebody touches a stove and gets burnt, it's hot. You don't also have to go touch it to know it's hot. You just saw that person get burned. You don't always have to go experience something for yourself. Sometimes you do. But if the stove burns everybody else and then you go to touch it, you can bet you're probably also going to get burned as well. So don't do what I did. Don't let an idea go by. If you have a dancing Trump idea, find your dancing Trump idea and then run with it. Because life is short and I don't have insurance anymore and my birthday's over. Now I'm a little sad, like the day after Christmas. And no one cares about any of that. And nobody cares about you either. The only person that's going to care about you is yourself. So if you want to make it and have a yacht and have crab cakes every day, have the American dream, then you need to go out and get it. You need to go find your dancing Trump idea and run with it. And don't let it pass by like me. That's all I got to say. That's the recap. I'll be back next week with something fun. We're going to have some guests on, hopefully Uncle Dave and a surprise secret guest coming at you live very soon. As always, stay curious, my friends, and good night. Thank you.